In October 2015, on a chilly autumn afternoon, John Brennan's phone rang. On the other end was a stranger demanding $5 trillion. The caller, a 15-year-old kid high on weed, told Brennan it was shockingly easy to get his number, openly mocked him, and hung up. The U.S. government officially classified the call as part of a broader conspiracy involving cyberterrorism, identity theft, and the targeted harassment of senior officials. The U.S. intelligence apparatus had just suffered a massive public relations disaster. In 2013, Edward Snowden's leaks revealed the government was operating a boundless surveillance program, spying on practically anyone who touched a computer. To counter the backlash, leaders like Director of National Intelligence James Clapper went on the defensive. They testified before Congress and projected an aura of absolute legality and tight control over the world's information. If the intelligence community was truly an impenetrable fortress that saw everything, how did two bored teenagers manage to completely blindside them? Two young hackers operating under the names Kraka and Default bypassed high-level security using social engineering, the art of psychological manipulation and lying to the right people. This flowchart maps out exactly how Kraka breached the CIA director's life. He found Brennan's Verizon phone number online, called Verizon's tech support, and pretended to be an on-site technician. He made up an employee code on the spot, and it worked. Within minutes, the representative handed over the PIN, routing Kraka into Brennan's AOL email. Inside sat his security clearance application, containing psychological records, drug history, and Bush-era memos outlining legally compliant torture. The agency's immediate reaction was total confusion. Nobody at the CIA knew who caused the breach, how much access they really had, or what their ultimate threat level was. The government's carefully crafted illusion of absolute control vanished in an instant. The agency reacted with pure panic, forcing top operatives into hiding and spending $1.5 million on emergency relocation fees and damages. Empowered by the chaos, the teenagers escalated, using the information they had to compromise more accounts, eventually finding a database containing the personal details of 29,000 FBI and Department of Justice agents. They took the highly sensitive government documents they had stolen and handed them directly over to Julian Assange at WikiLeaks, ensuring they would be published for the world to see. But despite his extreme paranoia, Default eventually made a critical operational security mistake. While drunk and playing Xbox Live with a friend, he openly bragged about hacking the CIA director. That friend turned him in. When the authorities responded, they didn't knock politely. FBI agents bypassed a false room, pointed assault rifles in Default's face, and dragged him out. They immediately cloned his hard drives right before their 30-minute decryption window closed. Those hard drives held roughly 1,000 Bitcoin, worth around $40 million today. Default lost it all. He was hit with a 5-year federal prison sentence, forced to pay $145,000 in restitution, and spent significant time in solitary confinement. The FBI used overwhelming theatrical force to turn a teenager's arrest into a display of state power, masking their own negligence while setting a brutal example for future copycats. Pleading his case in court, Default admitted that his pursuit of political vigilantism was entirely misguided. He lost his youth to a federal cell, while Kraka's life in the UK was completely derailed by a juvenile detention sentence. The government expended massive resources annihilating the leakers, yet showed almost no interest in addressing the basic human vulnerabilities that made the breach possible in the first place. In fact, the surveillance apparatus has continued to expand. In December 2023, the Biden administration renewed Section 702, a controversial program that permits the government to spy globally without a warrant, scooping up massive amounts of electronic communication. This bar chart exposes how that database is actually used. Contrasted against a small baseline of legitimate queries, a U.S. court found the FBI has misused the system 278,000 times, running unlawful searches on everyone from domestic protesters to political donors. The United States intelligence community continues to hoard a terrifying amount of our private data. But as a couple of stoned high schoolers demonstrated, having the power to collect that data doesn't mean they actually know how to protect it.